Here, ladies and gentlemen, are 5 poems. Call it an earthbound probe that explores the mystery of the macro and micro universe. You are looking at an artist's rendering of an event that occurred this past summer at the CERN Switzerland LHC. Fascinating, isn't it? Almost looks like modern art. The Large Hadron Supercollider. Here you see protons, high-energy protons, smashing into each other, producing evidence for the Higgs boson. Usually, this would produce excitement no further than the laboratory. But here, poetically, I believe are its implications for you and for me. Read on if you wish, and feel free to challenge the ideas. I call this first one of 5 the God particle. Terrible quest of the LHC, unimaginable energy seeking answers, the mystery of you and me, seeking bubble-chambered glyphs, mystical curlicues of the God particle. Multiple evanescent pathways of curvilinear light, this time the high priest of a new temple. Guardians of the standard mortal have it right. Behold their vision, a thing they shall never see descried, the Higgs boson dancing upon a nanosecond stage. Its mass in electron volts at last derived. The priests now have their predicted epiphany. Divine deduction and experiment, they now agree. For us, at best, most times but the savant's quest. But this Higgs field, this crazy glue of mass, profound answer to inertia's mystery, great Newton's first law decoded, proclaims why the winged child flies so easily, how the field claws at the ears, grabs at our indifference to obesity, universal spiderweb to joint and muscle agony, until at last the God particle we yield. For once, what happened in a thing called the LHC must fill us with a dreadful awe about a law we never truly understood before. For us to simply gaze at the night sky, at the universe's wonder that advanced Earth and space telescopes allow us to see, would be poetry enough. But a specific event, first deduced by a genius who ranks with Einstein, a man by the name of Dr. Alan Guth, who was at MIT in the 80s, that the deeper we probe towards the beginnings of 12 times 10 to the 9th years ago, the velocity of recession of galactic objects increases far greater than the predictions of the Big Bang, which we call inflation, is to me, as a poet and as a science teacher, profoundly mystical. That his insight was confirmed by a spacecraft with the daunting title of the Wilkinson Microwave Anisotropic Probe in 2000, abbreviated WIMAP, provided me with an even greater insight. Perhaps some of you may have seen the map that it produced, the strange ellipsoid conglomeration of yellow and blue. The map is a map of background radiation from 12 times 10 to the 9th light years ago, the very beginnings of our universe. And this map provided me with 2 strange and very startling implications. They are as follows. We are perhaps but one universe within many called the multiverse, being pulled apart by, well, I'll let the poem itself elucidate that. Second, May we be the only one. We may be the only one in which this fact can be comprehended, and within it totally and completely alone. Radio telescopes, part of a decades-old search for ET, extraterrestrial, have revealed, through SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, nothing whatsoever. We have listened for over 3 to 4 decades and have heard absolutely nothing. This poem I call Multiverse. Multiverse, this humbling mix of imagery and rhyme, my poem. Multiverse, a nano-asterisk in the appendix of an infinite tone, a different kind of voice, giving meaning where math alone confounds perception, defying prose in a darkened wood we cannot expose, too many trees in the cosmological forest. My poetry daring to transform the savant's glyphs, unravel arcane visions, leading to illusion without confusion. This, the dreadful task I ask of me, of my poesy. Oh, my muse, is my poetry rich enough in possibility? Boldly to go and write of inflation, strings and quarks, of a strange energy they call dark, exponential fleeing of primordial celestial things to some edge by superstrings. This edge of our place, weird union with 11-dimensional space. The map, this 12 times 10 to the 9th year journey back to the dawn time of red and blue, this false color profusion of confusion of yellow and blue. The startling conclusion, all I say is true. We are the sentient offspring of the great equation of inflation. We are perhaps the singular glory of all creation, incongruous singularity of a universe within a multiverse. The improbable bubble of an infinity of bubbles. We, the children of a super red-shifted expansion, sit upon a spiral edge. One arm of galactic profusion, this Goldilocks zone we call home, sending out for decades SETI's imploring question, are we alone? Are we alone? In all this majesty of astrophysical hierarchy, mega light years distant probing of exobiology, probabilistic equations denying our speciality, nothing answers our phone. The third poem in the series is based upon this image that you're seeing right here, a picture of an integrated circuit. At the heart of every digital device we utilize today, be it computer, smartphone, or tablet, is this digital microchip, consisting of perhaps billions and even trillions of electronic components, which can only be seen by an electron microscope and is etched upon silicon by X radiation. And these are its multitude of components that has led to the incredible world in which the power we possess at our fingertips is limited only by the closeness of these components according to something called Moore's law. As a poet, it is not my purpose to literally explore the physics of this domain, but hint at its mystery, and to hope the reader, once moved, to ponder the same profound questions the nano-universe is asking of me. I call the poem Temples of Sand, after the fact that silicon molecular structure is silicon dioxide, its chemical formula, and silicon dioxide, as you may know, is a semiconductor. Musings while working upon my computer, Temples of Sand, nano-etched gatekeepers, controllers of imponderable dualities, wraiths of uncertainty splitting at relativistic limits, biased toll booths weaving, swaving stop, go, on, off, you a zero, and you a one. Every year, Moore's law regulates the gigabytes of data on labyrinthine highways. Trips made ever shorter, 1 gigahertz, 4 gigahertz. Journeys made through diodes, packed by the millions, the billions, the trillions. Chips, the holiest of holies, in the temple of Intel. Smaller and smaller still, chips, tabula rosa, upon which are writ algorithms dictating the demands of the human interface. Startling landscapes, twisting, tumbling 3D artifices of the brain. Animated universes contrived by our exquisite sentience. Reality, photonic streaming analogs transfigured into light years, distant dreaming. All this the silent illuminated visions of a motherboard awaken only to our persuasion, until the gray matter leaps towards a thing beyond calculation, leaps toward the holy grail, epiphany of cognition, leaps toward a complexity that knows itself, that somewhere in the software resides the sacred code of consciousness. Then will the temple of sand perhaps reveal the meaning of man. Number 4. This past summer, I sat enraptured and watched an almost time-lapse emerging of these fronds from shoots. The original, and a week later, the fronds. I watched the silent obeisance to nature's urging, a week-long seeming miracle of creation. It would have been enough to be the poet as a simple watcher of biology unfolding, but I experienced this age-old bard's need to go even further, to extract from what I was seeing the invisible, molecular transformations without my words being trapped by symbolic abstraction. In my poetry, I tried to take on both photosynthesis and morphology. I hope I have succeeded. Helical algorithm, upon viewing the unfolding of a natural miracle. Apparent stillness, nothing to imply momentous events. Nature's other great grants suffused with summer sun, magic-like frequencies of photons, and carnadine splitting of life's seminal liquid. In the Lilliputian laboratory, endless, cyclical, nano-assembly line of perfect molecular creation, cascading energies, the power for chloroplastic adazons, inspirations, intricate scaffolding of anti-entropy, anti-chaos, responding to the grand helical seer's overseer, the grand helical overseer, running blueprints through radiating endoplasmic rivers, yet all in apparent stillness. None of this save with the third eye can I descry here. The ultimate secret garden, first feeling the urgency of the morphological miracle, seeing the emerging helical alchal rhythm, burst above ground from the microverse. The entwining architect at last unveiling its offspring. My morning blaze, starting eyes pondering and perceiving the ultimate expression of this being, first shy, its ineffable knowing of the primacy of the solar timekeeper, now growing exponentially more exquisite with each new dawn, splendid, verdant pattern of form and function. 5 leaves in compound coiling spiral symmetry, speaking to the astonished poetry that is me. I shall reserve some future poetry of the macro universe and the micro universe's mystery for another future time. I hope you have enjoyed this journey along with me.